Hi, in this week's video, I'm just going to start doing something called unofficial sponsors. The unofficial sponsor for this week's show is another YouTuber. It's called That Pedal Show. These guys, Mick and Dan in the UK, review guitar pedals, guitars, that sort of stuff. They talk about the thing, my favourite little passion back there, guitar stuff. So go buy their merch. If you go buy something off their show, they will keep their show going. I will be entertained. That will be good for my mental health. And I will keep making videos so you will benefit. You will get paid back by giving them some kindness. They are this week's unofficial sponsor of the show. Okay, this week. I see on a lot of forums people saying, I've got this great idea for a film. I think I'll make it a TV show instead. Or I'll make it a series. Those two creatures are incredibly different. And even though the story may be able to be adapted, it's important to realise that what makes your movie a movie may not make it a TV show. Okay, what makes it a movie? A movie is something that can be told once. Okay, Star Wars is always a good example. Luke Skywalker, Arnie Uncle dies, goes off, joins the Rebel Alliance, develops the Force, does that shot in the valley and blows up the Death Star. That story can be told once. Imagine if every week Luke went and blew up a new Death Star. That wouldn't be Star Wars. That would be a bit silly. Well, if you look at Star Trek is a universe. Yes, it's sci-fi, but it is the captain and his crew going where no man has gone before, encountering new people and telling a new story each week. That is it. It is a contained area that you can tell stories in, and you can tell multiple stories in. The other difference with a film, characters a lot of the time will change. They'll live, they'll die, they'll gain a skill, they'll lose a skill, they'll lose something. They're not the same person at the beginning as they are at the end. They are in some of my films, but not in every film. That can't happen. You can't have the person reset. At the end of the show, he's learnt this great thing, and next episode he's back where he started. There is the limited series, which is very, very popular now, the Chernobyl, or those sorts of things, where it's just five episodes and you're out. That is like a big film. That's that weird crossover hybrid thing, where it's a very long story told episodically over 4 or 5 or 6 shows. That crosses over both, but we're going to treat that as a film because it's a story that can be told only once. So if you think your story is too big for a film, too big for 2 hours or 2.5 hours or 3 hours, you're thinking, I've got 10 hours worth of story here. That would be a limited series. When you plot a limited series, it's slightly different to plotting a TV show. You do have a universe and you have a cast of characters, but you're still only telling the one linear story. You don't go back, you don't reset characters, you don't reset a universe. You just have the story. So if you're going to write a limited series, you also then got to realise you have to have 10 hours of story, not fluff. You can't have 10 hours of filler. You can't have a 45-minute episode about someone trying to open a can and how frustrated it is trying to open a can of soup. It has to be meaningful. So if you've got a story which spans a long time and has a lot of changes, so the changes have to be there. At the end of each episode, you have to set up the next episode. It can't be one huge long story. You've got to bring people back in each week to see what happens next. So you're going to need your long story thread, which would normally be your film. And you're going to need episodic story threads. And in each episode, you're going to need smaller story threads that perhaps link over to other episodes. So now when you've got the Chekhov's gun idea of, see the gun in the first act, someone will fire it in the third act. Something that happens in the first episode may be paid off in the third episode. The second episode might flash back to something in the first episode you didn't realise was there. You now have to interlace multiple episodes over multiple stories over multiple hours. There is a very big skill, a different skill set in writing them. I write film. I could write a limited series, but it's not really my wheelhouse. And I tend to write smaller, contained things where we're putting people under a whole lot of pressure and watching them just collapse under that pressure. That would be not a 6-hour story. So if you're going to be thinking, I've got this great idea for a film, I'm going to make it a limited series, maybe you're not the guy to write it, or the girl to write it, or the non-specific binary person to write this. Really think about what your skill sets are. Think what your story is and find a way of getting that across. I, feature film writer, not a TV series writer, not a writing room writer, not a limited series writer. So your idea maybe have to be pushed into the way that you can actually write it. If you've got an idea for a 7-hour film, can you cut it back to the one character is doing his story? This is the one thing. World War II, massive, Europe fell apart, millions of people died, all that sort of stuff. Saving Private Ryan, very short story, just inside World War II. Dunkirk, just getting the guys off the beach during World War II. So you can maybe just boil your entire megaverse idea down to a story that you can tell as a feature writer. I'm a feature writer, that's what I would do. Okay guys, as I said, nick over to That Pedal Show, get some stuff, make them rich, they keep me happy, I'll keep doing this for you. Comment down below, like, subscribe, bell icon, all those sorts of things. I've been told that it's best to do this at the start of the video, but I'd rather give you something, and if you think it's worth your while, you comment, you subscribe, you do all that sort of stuff. If you want to leave comments, nick over to griffithscreative.com.au, link below. The book's coming along really good. I'm thinking maybe it's end of April 2022 will be released. If you leave a comment and say you're interested in the book, I'm going to put out a promotional video to tell you about the book when it comes out. It's going to be free for a little while, so get hold of it. Share the link below, or go over to Griffiths Creative. Tell people to go over to Griffiths Creative, hit the contact us link, and say you want to get a copy of the book, and I'll make sure that you're involved in the mail out, so you can go and click on the link and download the book when it's ready. It's going to be called Tools, Not Rules. It is all the way you can solve your screenwriting problems without being dictated to. It won't be on page 4 you do this, on page 7 you do that. You must meet a mentor who then comes back as a parrot. None of those stupid formulas, which is, going to make you look like everybody else. These are just tools. Like, I don't understand my character. What little tool can I use to get a better understanding of my character? How does my character interact with the protagonist? What does the protagonist think of the protagonist? All these sorts of things that you come up and solve in your own mind the problems you're having that are preventing you from creating a great film, great story, limited series, television series, whatever you write. Okay, guys, until next time, keep writing. Bye.